Gym.
Gym open today?
Yeah. Huh?
So I tried to steal something from you?
When? So it's a new year, new chapter in everybody's life. And life is like a book. Every year is a new chapter, and every day is a new page. And sometimes you gotta realize that what I've realized is you gotta make the most of each page. Every day makes daily tasks to help reach our goals. The goals will never reach us unless we go for it. And we can go for it for a week and stop and say it's too hard and try again after 6 months. That's when you lose a lot of your progress. When you build a ladder, if you stop the ladder stays. Well, you gotta keep building it. Every day, build it. When you're flying a plane or a rocket ship, you can't break momentum. You gotta keep going with the rocket ship. It's okay to start over. When you start over, you gotta push past those limits. You gotta keep going every day. And that's something I don't plan on stopping. I got 365 days for all the goals, whether it's gym, boxing, whatever it is, 365 days, and I gotta set daily tasks every day. So, new chapter, now is page 1. This weight, 180 pounds. I could do a little bit more, but the whole past like 4 or 5 days, every day I've been working out, so my arms are not, they're tired. Also, I did like 20 something pull-ups, 25 at least. But let's give it a go. If you push your mind enough, your mind can break those limits. Just enough. So the mindset has to be, I want it to be hard. I want to push it so I can push my mind. Let's give it a go. 4, 2, 4, 5. Second. 8. 9. Last one. The weight here is on 200 pounds. As you can see there, I'm gonna try to do maybe 2 or 3 reps. So let's see what I can do. Yeah, ready. So far I did 25 pull-ups, 30 tricep extensions, and I did abs, 30 reps, and I don't remember the weight, some legs. Before this I did 45 push-ups, then I did 45 push-ups before, then I did like, a lot of other stuff, I guess. Last time I used this bicep machine, I was doing about like, I think I did 120 a few times. In the video, the last video, I did 120. But there was a couple times after that video, a few months after, I was able to hit 140, a couple reps. So my strength is definitely increased. As of now, because of all the workouts I did, I don't think I can hit 140.
You never know what you're gonna get though.
But let's see, if our mind says so, if we can do it. Because this mind, the brain, the mind inside, one thing about it is it's always able to expand and grow, and the mind has no limits. And true strength comes from here. The more you push your body, the more tougher it gets. The more you go through that, the more this builds. And you know, when you really stay consistent long enough, then you see the real capabilities of the human body right away. You know, one day, 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, even 6 months, you won't see much, especially if you're not consistent. But if you keep on going and keep on going, you can really see that the human body is really capable of something special. To push your limits, and sometimes you have to fail. Sometimes you can't do the weight. Because it might be a little heavy. It doesn't mean to give up. It means to adjust to 130 and try again. Keep going. Don't give in. Keep on building. You know, that's one thing, is to push yourself. And even right now, 140, I was barely able to lift up once. My arms are tired and stuff. Before I did it 3 times. But even if I'm struggling 140, if I keep going, imagine 365 days, another 365 days, as the years go by, who knows what I can do. There's 120 pounds. Really gotta push it. This is where we dig deep. This is where the mind has to be pushed from the body. This is where we grow. The extra one where you want to give in. The extra 1 or 2 where you gotta bring the dog out. Dog is hungry. This is the moment. The body forms. Oh, not bad. You see, sometimes people, they'll see my muscles, they'll see photos of it, they'll see me in summer. They don't know the work I put in to get those muscles. The main problem is I'm always in and out of shape. So the main thing is stay disciplined. That's what I have to do. If I want to get to where I need to go, I have to stay disciplined. And then people will see. What you've seen here is nothing compared to what you see in the time ahead. As long as, for both you, me, for anybody, as long as we never give in, never give up, and keep on trying. So right now, this is on 140 pounds, as you can see there. So it's pretty heavy, and I think I did 120 before. I don't think I've done 140 before. I can only do 2. But it's an improvement, because before I could only do 3 or 4 of 120, and now I could do 2, maybe 3 of 140. So we had a good workout today. We went to Fit4Less, and first we started off with some pull-ups, then did some bicep curls, then did leg curls on the machine. After that, did some stuff for abs, and I think that's all I can remember. But we hit a good workout. At least at least 5 machines we hit, and 30 reps each. And one of the things I've realized it's not always about how much you do, but it's just as important is how you do it. And for example, I'll use 2 examples in this situation. When you're doing, let's say you're curling the biceps, or if you're even better, even the biceps, either way you still have to use your arm strength to lift the thing up. Well, let's say when you're doing sit-ups. If you're doing sit-ups, it's the best analogy I can give. Sit-ups or leg raises or anything ab related, and you're swaying your body. You're using the momentum. What's happening is you're not focusing on those muscles. You're swaying and you're actually, your body weight's controlling it. You might think, oh, I did 100 sit-ups a day, I'm good. But if you did 50 sit-ups, did them slow, focus on the burn right here. Go down, don't go drop it down and try to increase the reps. Go down slowly, feel that tension. That's what you need, is the tension, the stress, the pressure. That's how the muscle will grow. And it's like that for everything. Without a feeling of adversity, we won't be able to make rapid growth. Now, we can make slow progress. If you're doing 100 sit-ups every single day and you're swaying your body, maybe some muscles will be activated and you will make some progress. But to make the most effective progress, it's about feeling the tension. And that's something like, it was a quote from the legendary Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was saying, some people work out, they're in the gym 6 months and they look the same after 6 months because they get bored when they're working out. They're not making it intense. They're not, challenging their mind. It's not all about the body, it's the mind for everything we do. When your mind gets bored, that's when you're okay, you're bored, you want to stop. But that's when it's time to condition the mind, to say, okay, I'm bored, but I still gotta focus. One of these guys, his name's Jocko. He was a former military guy, and he's a really, really tough guy. He does a whole bunch of workouts, and he's really, really good tips online. There's also another guy named David Goggins. So first starting with Jocko said something that really resonates with me, and something I definitely hope to apply for this year, is to be tougher. It's with the mind. Toughness is the ability to, when things get hard, you want to keep going. How much can you keep going? Of course, having a strong body, having good stamina, having good skills, and whatever it is that you need to do can help you push farther, because you have this, your body is in condition enough to keep pushing. But also you need the mind too, you need everything. And to build that mental strength, and also this applies to physical strength too, is to do something difficult that you don't really want to do, and to continue doing it day by day, step by step. That way, when things get hard, you will feel comfortable in the uncomfortable, if that makes sense. And again, I'm going on to David Goggins. He's a huge inspiration to me, and lately, I always knew about David Goggins for a couple years. I would watch his videos, but I never really focused on him that carefully until just a few months ago. And it's because I've realized his backstory, where he came from. He started off, he was a chubby guy, ate junk food a lot, saw on the TV a commercial about Navy SEALs, and he wanted to be like that. And he tried to build himself up there. Everybody counted him out. Nobody believed in him. Who was this fat guy eating junk food, wants to be a Navy SEAL? What the hell, is he crazy? He just eats junk food all day. How is he gonna do that? He applies to be a Navy SEAL. They say he's too big. He goes back, he tries to runs a quarter of a mile. Keep this in mind, a quarter of a mile. Just a quarter, which is still something. Can't do it, goes home and he cries. But guess what? He keeps trying again and again and again. This is someone, he's not born athletically gifted with a perfect body, he had to work for it. From a quarter mile, He kept trying and trying, completed all these different Navy SEAL training, Ranger trainings, quite a few intense trainings he completed. From struggling to carry boats and logs to being the top guy carrying boats and logs. That's when he's working out. He says, who's gonna carry the boats and the logs? He remembers his whole training, his whole backstory. That's his push. That's what gives him that edge above people, is he has that push. He knows how to make his mind push through it. When his mind says no, he finds ways to make his mind say yes. He went from 1/4 of a mile, and after so many years of intense training, probably a bunch of failures too, he ran hundreds of miles. He broke the pull-up world record, 4,030 pull-ups in 17 hours, roughly. All these intense things, all because of one thing. He worked on it day by day. He remained consistent, and he pushed his body and kept aiming to be better. We can work out all we want in anything. You can play tennis, you can play football, you could be boxing. But the main thing is to work on it day by day with the intention to get better. And better not just with your skills, but with the mind, with the toughness. And that's why something I've realized is, for me, I always had skill. You can see it the way I punch. It's very skillful, right? You can see the way I punch when I hit the bag, for example, or even sometimes I don't really use my power too much in sparring, because I feel like, sparring, it's practice. There's nothing on the line. There's no rewards. It's a weekly thing, Don't want to hurt my training partners too much. But sometimes if the guy's going hard, you might see some of the power in the sparring, especially on the bag. When I really put my shoulders into it, you can hear the impact. That I do have the power. I do have the skill, as you can see in the shadow boxing. But the drive is one thing. That is one thing that I realized I was lacking. In 2014, around there is where I actually started training. Developed some skills. Was able to, move well. Throw punches with good speed, technique. But the problem is, when I would train, I would not put my 100% into it. I would put maybe like 50%. But what happens if you throw half a punch, it can actually cause more harm than good. If you do anything half, it's not right. You should put your all. At least put as much as you can, realistically. Because let's say I would do the boxing, then I would go hang out with people, eat poutine, drink beer. Then you show up the next day to boxing, you're out of shape. And no matter how skilled you are, you gotta be in shape. You have to have stamina, or else you won't be able to move the way you want to move, because your body is slowing down. Part of it's diet, part of it's hanging around. To be at your best ability has to be a lifestyle. And a lot of that also, is I would train a month, 2 months, stop, take 3-4 months off, get back into it, lost a lot of the shape I'm in, have to get back in shape, get back on the mindset, get back comfortable with the sparring. People don't understand, sometimes sparring could be technical. You could be throwing light punches, working on techniques, and sometimes it could be intense. When somebody's there and they get competitive and they're throwing, and you can feel the power, you can feel the fatigue, it can get intense. And sometimes it's intense, sometimes it's not. But when you're out of shape and it's getting intense and you become rusty from a lack of discipline, that's what happens. Is you can have all the potential in the world, and one day you can look like, okay, he's ready, and then you take time off and you come back 3 months later and you're out of shape. It's not good. 2015, that's what happened. Same thing throughout all the years, but in 2016, 2017, where I trained a little bit more. 2017, went back to the drinking and the poutines, wasn't training too seriously. And a lot of that is why I feel like my full potential has not been reached. But 2019, I came back hungry. From 2015 onwards, I was like, you know what, I'm young, got a lot of time, no need to rush it. which is true. No need to rush it, but it doesn't mean you should take 3 months off unnecessarily, 6 months off unnecessarily, eat the wrong diet. Part of it is like, yeah, we're young, but you still got to reach the goals. The goals won't reach you no matter how young you are, or years will pass. 2019 came back motivated, then COVID hit shortly after. So through COVID, I was training every single day. I don't think I've ever missed a day training at home. The problem is, like I mentioned with the weights, when you do something with the wrong form, you're not getting the best results. When I was training, my focus was purely on my punches, but not on my feet. And I developed this habit, staying grounded. And people who know boxing know how important the feet is. The feet will get you out of danger. When you see the punch coming, you move your feet. It's the simplest way, rather than to dodge and possibly walk into another punch, to block and feel the impact. To move back is the most simple and effective way to move away from the danger. That's the best form of defense, is the feet. Without that, it takes a lot away. And the feet also get you in position. You can launch in, launch out. You know what I mean? The feet pivot on the side, throw hook. All of those things the feet can do. Even when you punch, the feet should be involved. So because of this bad habit, for thousands of rounds I've been focusing on making the punches perfect, I messed up my footwork. But I didn't give up, because if we have a bad habit, just like you can cause a bad habit or you can gain a good habit, work again. And so the whole time when I was sparring, my feet was flat, and sometimes I'd show up, even if I'm running and stuff, still a little out of shape, because naturally my lungs have asthma. So I need to train my lungs. I need to run way more than the average person. I only started realizing that potential lately. I actually and part of it's like, we have to remember, as frustrating as it might be, results take time, years. No matter the backstory, no matter what it is, it takes years. Because other people out there, the competition, they're training too. So to reach our best takes time, especially when you're working and all that stuff. But it's like, the main thing is to keep showing up. And lately, I've been showing up a little less. I've been showing up like once, twice a week, but to compete you need 3 or 4 times a week. And it's all about building the mindset. You see, before, when I was boxing, even when I came back in 2021, wouldn't feel comfortable with the boxing. I wouldn't let my hands go because of fear. Okay, he's gonna hit me. What if he knocks me out? Oh, that'll be embarrassing. What are people gonna think? Oh. When you get that out of your mind, instead of when you show up in boxing and you're worried of it being hard, and you hinder your potential, because boxing is naturally a hard sport. Of course, you can't go hard all the time, but your mindset has to be prepared for it. When it gets hard and you start to get tired, you start to you're scared. It takes away your potential. Fear can help you or it can break you. And lately, I've been running with DeAndre a lot through all of these kilometers and miles through the snow. When I work out now, I try to change my mindset. Listening to people like David Goggins.
Does it help you?
It helps a lot. When you feel that burn and that push-up and you want to stop, you give those last 2 reps, those last couple reps are a huge thing. That's where you can really, okay, one day you do 30, next day you 30, okay, now you hit 29, you're like, okay, I'll stop at 30 again. But when you actually tell yourself 5 more, hit 35. The next day, a few days later when your arms are better, you can hit 40 suddenly. You can go to 40 to 45. Now I can hit 45, 50. Before I was at 30. And that's because I embraced the grind, embraced the pain. And with that mindset, when I came to sparring, the last 3 times, all of a sudden, I was training every day and I'm showing up to the gym once in a while, which I'll have to correct that soon. But my plan was to do 100 rounds. If I felt ready after 100 rounds, like here's the potential I know I have. It's up here. I know I have that potential. But I didn't want to rush it. Until I reach to this level where everything's on point, then I'll ask the coach for a match, and then I'll step in the ring.
Coach, did you hear that on this vlog? The
But
man's waiting for
yeah,
his match.
but the thing is, I didn't feel like I reached that level. I feel like when I'm sparring, I would do pretty good. But there was like some days I'd do bad. Like I'd be sick, you know, I'd be injured, whatever it is, and I'd feel like bad. Like one day I was sick. A few days later, I jumped and sparred. The sickness felt gone. Still had a slight cough. But you don't know what the virus is attacking your body. It's not going to be the same. It's going to hit your lungs. It's going to hit your immune system. You're not going to be good, even if you feel good. You need to give it a week or 2 weeks. Went back, and all of a sudden, oh, my headache is there again. Hits me in the head with the headache. My body's fatigued. My lungs
Do you
are.
feel better now?
Yeah, no, I was sick actually a week ago, but now I feel better. But that's also why I didn't spar this week. So I knew by next week I'd be even better, and I can get some running and build up some of this endurance I've lost. Even that workout that I did today, that's me with the body. But yeah, even the workout I did tonight, that's not me at 100%. I was worn out from a lot of things, including a lot of workouts. But sometimes we have to realize that there's always going to be some kind of excuse we can make to not show up. Sometimes we have to show up. If we feel good enough, we gotta show up. Unless we're injured, unless we're sick, like really badly sick, then we can still improve, we can still make progress. And sometimes people want to make excuses, you know.
There's no such thing an excuse until
Sometimes,
you try.
yeah, there's no excuses. You know, the more you show up, the more steps we make.
Improvements you
The
get.
more improvements we get. It's all about these small steps. And the more times you don't show up and eat junk food, you know, and which is fine, eat your junk food, but if you're not burning it out, if you have sport related goals and that's all you're doing, hanging out with people, partying around, skipping your trainings, I know that from a lot of experience. I've been there. The more you do that, the more the competition out there grows, and the less you grow.
You will grow until you try.
Yeah, so that's why it's all about just making it a lifestyle, you know, whether you have work, if you can make time, practice at work, whatever it is. For boxing, like I mentioned, I haven't missed a day. Even if I'm at the gym, I'm training outside, I'm training at work, I'm training at home, you know. And one of the things is to focus on the weakness. I'm trying to rebuild my feet work, and when I got in there, actually the last 3 times I sparred, naturally I felt different. Instead of walking in there feeling anxious, hoping that it's not too hard, I embraced it like, okay, it might be hard, but I have to push. That mindset took me pretty far so far. And people haven't seen it because I haven't recorded those videos, but maybe soon I'll have one. Hopefully within, you know, next month or 2, where you can see the improvements. And, you know, it's kind of like walked in the gym, see these people that I'd usually be afraid of, and I still was. Fear is something.
Never be afraid.
Yeah. If you feel fear, you have to use it to make you better. You have to overcome it, control it. It's normal to feel fear, but you got to do it anyways. Do it scared, and remember what the training. Remember your abilities. Right? You can respect somebody's abilities, but you cannot fear it so much that you let it make yours hidden. So I embraced it. Like, okay, you know, that's part of it. Part of improvement is to embrace all of the risks, you know, and to kind of embrace the challenge. You know, okay, I step in sparring, I see all these people that I'm a little bit afraid of, but it's like, all right, they beat me up, they embarrass me, so be it. I gotta get better anyways. They hit me and I hit the ground, so be it. I can't run away. I can't just, oh, I'm scared of getting hit, run around, cover up and not do anything. Gotta release my abilities. That's how we gain respect. And that's what happened is I wanted it to be tough, and that's a big change. I never wanted it to be tough until lately. And I stepped in there in the sparring. I'm sparring these guys. I felt more aggressive. When they hit me, I wasn't scared. I was a little scared, but I was competitive. I'm like, oh, my turn. Pop, pop, pop. And that's where, you know, I really, really can feel it. Unfortunately, the last sparring session I had was with this guy, Kyrie. He's in some of my pictures. It's a friend named James. And James came back to Scarberry, and he was training there for a while. So yeah, then James came back, and he was still training at another gym, and he came back to Scarberry, and he was a lot better. But when I sparred him, I saw him boxing, and I was damn, he's hitting these people hard. But part of me liked the challenge. Part of me, like the inner Goku within, was there, and it was a good feeling, a really, really good feeling, when you start feeling that what the human body is capable of after those years of struggle. When you start seeing that light within, that potential within that you're seeking for, trying to see that within, kind of pulling little amounts of that potential out. It's a good feeling. When I was in there, he was throwing these hard punches, you know, I guess he wanted to test himself, and naturally I was throwing it back. I wasn't afraid. I was letting my hands go, throwing the good combos. My footwork still needed improvement, but I can, you know, I can see the strategy is to, you know, go for the openings, see the opening, push off with the feet. If they throw hard, don't be afraid, embrace it. Okay, throwing hard, all right, even if I'm a little afraid, it's my turn, match their intensity. If not, exceed it, throw back, and I can feel so much stronger. Like a few times I've sparred, I've hit a few people with the right hand and a right punch, and I've seen them wobble. And that's showing, like, you know, all this years, it's finally paying off because of the practice I'm doing, because of the mindset, because now when I run, I'm trying to push myself. And that's where we start to see our abilities really show, is when we push ourselves. It's when we embrace the challenge, when we embrace the grind. And I got 365 days next year. So I made, you know, some levels and advancements since the start of this year. And hopefully we'll see what I can do for the year ahead. 365 pages, and I'm the author. So we'll just have to see what lies ahead for me and for all of us. Stay tuned.